I don't know about men's prisons, but women's prisons are terrifying. When you first go to prison, you're sent to this place called R&E, which is receiving an evaluation. And basically while you're there, they test you for like STDs and any other kind of stuff, and they treat you. And then they kind of figure out like what your classification is going to be and like what prison you're going to go to serve your time at. It's usually like 30 days, but some women get stuck there for months. So it's my first day there, and I'd come in with a group of probably like 30 or 40 other women who were there for their first day of prison too. And then it came time to go like to our cells, and she had us all line up. And as she called our names, she would tell us which cell to go to. It was like this big 2-story prison with bars everywhere, and all the cells were like big iron doors, and it was real echoey in there, and it was really cold, and we were like soaking wet from just being hosed down with lice spray. At every door there was an inmate at the door, like watching and seeing the new people, like seeing if they knew anybody. But it was just like that whole typical fresh meat kind of deal. And there was this one girl in particular who was on the second story, and she was out like yelling out of her flap, like the little flap that they feed you through. She was yelling, and she was like, "Oh no, I don't want her, I want her in my room, I don't want her in my room." Like she was just yelling. The thing is that the prisons were so overcrowded that every single woman who went to prison that day got put in a cell with 2 other women. So you started out sleeping on the floor. They call my name, Cisco, and they say 2226. I still remember that cell number. And I look up, and 2226 is where that girl is being obnoxious and yelling. And she immediately "Don't put her in here. We don't want her in here. I don't want her in my cell." I like just going off. And I was like, oh my gosh, what a warm reception. Anyway, I got to know that girl, and she wasn't that bad at all. She was more bark than bite, although she was there for murder. So I'd been locked up probably 4 or 5 days at this point, and it was just one of those horrible long days that stretches into nothingness. They would feed us dinner at like 2:30, 3 p.m. Like it's so early, and there was just nothing to look forward to, and it was just so depressing, you know? And so one night I'm on the floor in my cell, and the other girls are in their bunks. They have a top and a bottom bunk. I'm sleeping right next to the toilet, and I'm just feeling sorry for myself. And I was like crying, but I didn't want to be a punk, and so I didn't want people to see me crying. All of a sudden I hear this beautiful voice singing, and it is an officer. And because of like how big and echoey it is, her voice just picked up so beautifully, and she sang this beautiful hymn, and it was so like all encompassing. You know that feeling when somebody like scratches their nails on your back and it feels good? That's what it felt like hearing this woman's voice. It was like something so beautiful and so unexpected that it just instantly lifted everybody's mood. For now, I'll just say that not all the officers were horrible. Some of them were quite nice. And eventually I got a bunk.